Your engine is slowly suffocating, and you probably have no idea it's happening. Most cars built in the last 15 years are losing horsepower right now, somewhere between 20 and 40 horses just vanishing over time. No crash caused it, no mechanical failure triggered it, just a silent buildup forming inside your engine every time you turn the key. What's actually stealing your power, which fixes deliver real results, and which products are complete snake oil that the FTC has literally prosecuted companies for selling? That's exactly what we're covering today. Here's what's going on under your hood. Older fuel injection systems sprayed gasoline into the intake manifold, and that fuel washed over the intake valves on its way to the cylinder. Detergents in the gasoline kept those valves clean, a simple and effective design that worked for decades. Engineers changed everything when they introduced gasoline direct injection. GDI systems spray fuel directly into the combustion chamber at pressures between 2,000 and 2,900 psi, which made engines more efficient and more powerful. But here's the problem. Nobody mentioned in the marketing materials. Fuel now completely bypasses the intake valves. What touches those valves instead? Air and blow-by gases, oil vapor from the PCV system, exhaust gases recycled through the EGR. All of that bakes onto the valve surfaces at combustion temperatures and hardens into rock-solid carbon deposits. One Volkswagen patent application described the process perfectly, comparing these deposits to stalactites forming in a cave where a sticky coating of oil and fuel elements creates a base for future buildup. Severe cases show deposits measuring 1/4 to a 1/2 inch thick. BMW N54 and N55 engine testing revealed losses between 20 and 40 horsepower from heavy carbon accumulation, and fuel economy dropped 1 to 3 miles per gallon while the engine ran rough, hesitated, and misfired. Here's the scale of this issue. Back in 2008, only about 2% of vehicles had GDI technology. That number climbed past 55% by 2020, and projections show 83% of new vehicles rolling off assembly lines with turbo GDI engines. This affects most cars on the road today. Finding a real solution starts with understanding what's inside these bottles. The ingredient you want is PEA, which stands for polyethyramine, a detergent that dissolves carbon deposits on injector tips and inside combustion chambers. AAA conducted a study that remains the gold standard on fuel quality, and their findings shocked a lot of people. Non-top-tier gasolines produced 19 times more engine deposits than top-tier brands after just 4,000 miles of driving. 19 times the buildup from regular gas. Spending about 3 cents more per gallon on top-tier fuel delivers dramatically better protection, making it the easiest first step anyone can take. What about those bottled fuel injector cleaners lining the shelves at auto parts stores? Southwest Research Institute published data showing PEA-based cleaners restored up to 94% of fuel injector flow rates when those injectors were restricted. Motor Trend ran their own tests and found pour-in cleaners produced no measurable change in injectors that were already functioning normally. These products work for prevention and restoration, not for improving systems that aren't damaged. Chevron Techron runs $10 to $14 and appears in service bulletins from BMW, Kia, and Hyundai as a recommended product. Redline SI1 contains the highest P concentration on the market at 30 to 40%. BG44. K Platinum is what dealership service departments reach for. One limitation changes everything for GDI owners, though. Fuel tank additives cannot clean intake valves because the fuel never contacts them. Fixing GDI intake valve carbon requires a completely different approach. Two simple maintenance items fly under the radar for most car owners, and both take minutes to complete. Throttle bodies collect deposits from PCV oil vapor and EGR soot over time. That gunk restricts airflow and causes rough idle, cold start stalling, hesitation when you hit the gas, and fuel economy losses reaching 15%. CRC throttle body cleaner costs less than $10, and the job takes about 10 minutes. Spray it on a rag, wipe down the throttle plate, and you're finished. Dealerships charge $200 to $300 for the same service. One thing to watch with modern cars: electronic throttle control systems will suffer damage if you force the throttle plate open manually. Some vehicles, particularly Nissans and Infinitis, require an ECU relearn procedure after cleaning. Your MAF sensor represents another easy fix with real results. NAPA claims a clean MAF can restore 4 to 10 horsepower, and when contamination throws off the readings, your engine computer receives bad data that causes rough idle, reduced power, and poor fuel economy. Here's where people destroy expensive parts by grabbing the wrong product. Dedicated MAF cleaner like the CRC formula costs $8 to $12 and leaves no residue on the sensitive hot wire element. Brake cleaner, carburetor cleaner, throttle body cleaner, and WD-40 will kill a MAF sensor instantly. One documented case showed brake cleaner destroying a sensor the moment it touched the element, and replacement ran between $100 and $300. Both of these maintenance items belong on your calendar every 30 to 50,000 miles. No maintenance topic sparks more debate than engine flush products. These formulas contain solvents that dissolve sludge when you add them to your oil before draining. AAA says engine flushes can help high-mileage vehicles that missed regular maintenance intervals, and owners report smoother operation with quieter lifters after treatment. The other side of this argument carries weight too. Soil technicians point out that sludge sometimes acts as the only barrier keeping oil from seeping through worn seals, and removing that buildup exposes failing gaskets for what they really are. Dislodged chunks can also clog oil pickup screens with catastrophic results. Ford's official position states clearly, do not use oil additives or engine treatments because under certain conditions they could damage the engine and void your warranty. Subaru takes the opposite stance, recommending engine flush for certain turbo models and selling their own branded product. The practical rule comes down to maintenance history. Flushing works safely as part of regular care from when the car was new, or on engines with documented service records. Avoid it completely when the flush would be the first one ever on an engine past 100,000 miles with unknown history, or when visible sludge appears through the oil filler cap. Seafoam generates more confusion than almost any product on the market, and the company's own recommendations might surprise you. Fuel tank application remains the safest and most proven method. Adding 1 ounce per gallon cleans injectors and combustion chambers without drama. Crankcase application works like a mild flush when you add 1 ounce per quart of oil, drive 100 to 300 miles, then change the oil. Dumping the entire bottle into your crankcase is a mistake because the solvent dilutes oil protection to dangerous levels. Intake application is where controversy starts, and here's what the Seafoam website actually says. They do not recommend pouring liquid into a vacuum line. Their exact recommendation is using Seafoam spray through the throttle body instead. The traditional vacuum line pour method risks hydrolock because liquids don't compress, and that pressure can bend or crack connecting rods and other internal components. GDI owners face another reality check. Seafoam through any application method cannot effectively clean intake valves because the carbon sits on the upstream side where neither fuel nor intake vapors reach. Serious carbon buildup on a GDI engine, the kind causing rough idle, misfires, and noticeable power loss, requires physical removal. Walnut blasting propels crushed walnut shells with compressed air to strip carbon from intake valve surfaces. The shells hit hard enough to remove deposits, but stay soft enough to avoid metal damage. Dyno testing tells the story. One Audi RS4 with 71,000 miles picked up 42 horsepower after walnut blasting. An R8 V8 at similar mileage gained 40 horsepower. Forum discussions consistently report typical gains between 25 and 35 wheel horsepower. Independent shops charge $2.50 to $400 for BMW engines and $400 to $7.50 for VW and Audi turbos. Dealerships want $1,500 to $2,400 for identical work. Mechanically inclined owners can tackle it themselves for $70 to $200 in equipment and materials. Oil catch cans offer prevention by installing in the PCV line to capture oil vapor before it reaches the intake valves. Honda Civic Type R owners report collecting 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil every 5,000 miles, and all of that would otherwise bake onto valve surfaces. Some products on the market have faced federal prosecution for fraud, and knowing which ones protects your wallet and your engine. The FTC went after Z-Max when testing revealed the product was nothing but tinted mineral oil, and bearing corrosion actually doubled in treated engines. Prolong made bold claims until Consumer Reports tested treated versus untreated engines running without oil, and both failed within about 100 yards of each other. Magnetic fuel line devices represent pure fiction dressed up as science. Gasoline molecules are nonpolar, making any magnetic effect physically impossible. Mythbusters confirmed zero difference in fuel consumption. EPA testing covered 104 fuel efficiency devices, and only 7 showed any improvement at all, with none exceeding 6%. Watch for these warning signs. Claims promising 20% or better fuel economy when proven products max out around 2 to 5%. Testimonials instead of independent testing. MLM distribution structures, and buzzwords like nano and quantum technology. Prevention delivers better results than restoration every single time. Top-tier fuel produces 19 times fewer deposits for about 3 cents more per gallon. Oil catch cans stop GDI valve contamination before it starts. Routine maintenance means PEA fuel cleaners every 5 to 10,000 miles, plus throttle body and MAF sensor cleaning every 30 to 50,000 miles. $20 covers the products. When symptoms appear on GDI engines, Walnut blasting at an independent shop runs $300 to $800 and actually solves the problem. Engine flushes work safely on maintained vehicles but create serious risk on neglected high-mileage engines. When the history is unknown, skip it entirely. Your engine can last a very long time with the right care. Give it proper maintenance, avoid the snake oil, and it'll reward you with years of reliable performance. If this helped you out, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.